I do like the things he's doing where he whispers very forcefully, and he like gets, and he's like, and you know what's going to happen? Nothing. I like that. There's something about an elderly person who's determined. My grandmother was kind of like this at the end. They would go to the hospital, and she would sit there and drink her scotch, sit in the chair, and she goes, "Go away." There's something about an old person at the end hanging on to life bitterly. I like it. Like it makes me feel alive. I like seeing, and some people would call it elder abuse, and that's fine. But I personally kind of enjoy seeing this man, well past his prime, demand that people recognize that he is on Earth and that he is alive. It's very similar. There was a show called Dance Moms. Okay? This is American politics. Get it up. Show them Dance Moms. Show them Abby Lee Miller. The great Abby Lee Miller, who's out of jail now and cancer-free. She's cancer-free. Show them Abby Lee. Get Abby Lee Miller. That's Abby Lee Miller. This show, Abby Lee Miller, the show Dance Moms, was this fat lady who would scream at children, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and they would have breakdowns. They would cry. Look at her. Can we play any of this, or would it be? It's a problem, right? They come right to the studio, kill us. Okay. Well, we can't play this. Abby Lee Miller would get all of these girls, these young children, and demand that they do these dance routines and not make one mistake. And if they made one mistake, they knew. You would see their faces. They knew it was over. She would bring them back. And I like the show because I like to see greatness demanded of children. I think it's good. There's something about demanding greatness of the young and the old that I kind of like. So Abby Lee Miller, a Fatty Bumbati, would bring these girls back and scream at them and then scream at their mother. She'd go, "You made a mistake in the group routine. Look at me, Mackenzie. Look at me right now. Get off your mother's lap. Stand there and look at me. Mackenzie, it is not looking good for you." And then these kids would cry. They would cry because they're... Now, obviously, dance is competitive and whatnot. I'm not talking about the morality of this. It seemed rather amoral, like it wasn't, good. But these kids now are kind of rich and fine, most of them, right? One of them might be dead. I don't know. JoJo Siwa might have been one of them, but I don't know. She's the lunatic who... I'm getting really in the weeds. That's not where we want to be. We're circling it back. My point is that you see, was JoJo Siwa on Dance Moms?
Yeah,
yes.
That was a good poll.
So she was on Dance Moms. So, okay, so it's not all good, right? Some of them went really left, and it's not great. JoJo Siwa was that girl. She dresses up like Satan. She dresses up like Kiss, the rock band Kiss, and she's like, "Hello." She's a terrifying lesbian. Look at this. So that's what happened to some of them on Dance Moms, but then some of them are fine. My point is this. She would scream and yell at these girls, and they were so terrifying, and they would have to go out and do this dance routine, and they could not make one mistake, one deviation. They could not, if they were supposed to go to the left, and they went, even just like hesitated and maybe thought, maybe should I go to the right? She would just break them down. You see that girl crying right there? It's JoJo Siwa. She would just break these girls down. That was watching that Biden press conference. Here's a guy who is way beyond the age that this type of pressure should be put on him. Way beyond the age that he should have any. He should just be sitting like where I'm at, out east on Long Island right now. People have these lazy lives. They wake up, they swim in their pool, they go to the farm stand, they get a tomato, they slice a tomato. They eat it, to put a little salt on it. They eat a tomato. They sit in their yard. They read half of a chapter of a book. They go to bed at 9. That's literally what his life should be. Instead, he's at the fucking G7, G8, G7? Where is he? He's at the NATO summit. And this is the most high stakes thing that anyone would ever have to do, let alone a guy at his age. And it is kind of the show Dance Moms, where like you have he's got the same face that those kids had before they did the routine. They're like, fucking Christ, I can't let this fat bitch down. If I let this fat bitch down, my life is over. They kicked me off the competition team. And if I'm off the competition team, I'm not competing. And if I'm not competing, what do I have left to do except get pregnant and take pills? And that's really, Biden's like, if I leave, if I stop competing, I'm dead. If I'm out of the White House, I just disintegrate and die. Every article is about like what a schmuck I am, how fucking I gave the country back to Trump, and he's miserable. I feel for the guy a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. But I like seeing there's something about, and that's why the show Dance Moms was fun, because you watch the kids and you're like, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. You know what happens if you, Mackenzie? You know what happens if you fuck up. Mackenzie fucked up a lot. I don't know why. She was just not. This routine is not dialed in, you're all gonna get the wrath of Abby Lee Miller.